as the new president of ADB, what is your vision for developing Asia and the role of ADB, especially in this very not unfortunate moments?
Well, it's true that our region, Asian Pacific region, has enjoyed very high, relatively high growth, economic growth, and poverty ratio has also dramatically improved and so on. But still, absolute poverty is there in our region. Still, 260 million people are living, with less than $1.9 per day. Okay. Yeah. So, and also income inequality has been widening. Yeah. So definitely we need to do something. So in this, particular agenda, I think human development, human capital development is really key, as I mentioned before. So I'd like to see a little bit more expansion of our operation in education, health, and social protection scheme and so on. Yeah, to achieve sustainable and inclusive development. That's the first thing. The second thing I'd like to mention is gender. Okay. Gender it should be everywhere, mainstreamed, and should be everywhere. And we have a clear target of gender, which says at least by 2030, 75% of our number of our operations should address gender inequality. So it looks very high bar, but I'd like to achieve that target as quick as possible. And third one is climate change and sustainable environment issue. And again, it sounds similar, but we have a clear target which says by 2030, at least 75% of our number of operations should address either climate adaptation or mitigation. And I'm a little bit disappointed to know that our region, Asian Pacific region, accounts for almost half of CO2 emissions globally. So definitely, something needs to be done to improve the situation. And fourthly, we cannot forget the investment in physical infrastructure, taking account of the fact that still we have a huge gap between demand and supply in infrastructure financing. It's estimated $1.7 billion per year, gap between demand and supply. But it's also obvious that ADB alone cannot fill the gap at all. And AIIB is coming in, World Bank is coming in.
Also the support from the local government, right?
Right, of course, yeah. So huge financing needs is there. So not only external financing like our operation, our lending there, but also private sector money. Private sector financing need to be mobilized by utilizing the PPP concept more actively and so on. And we do have also a target to expand our private sector operation dramatically from now on. Also to Indonesia, I very much would like to enhance our private sector lending operation, to fill the gap as much as possible. But fifthly, please don't forget that in addition to external financing and private sector mobilization, domestic resource mobilization is another key, which means you need to collect tax. Domestic resource, which means taxation, basically, right?
Yeah, but that is the hard thing, for government to give the.
We very much would like to support, Indonesian government. For example, in Indonesia, to be honest with you, tax base is relatively very narrow, and tax collection is not really strong. And also, you see, a lot of multinational companies operating here, but they may not, pay fair amount of taxation, because of the lack of coordination between countries and the deficiency of international taxation rules. So there are tons of things we can support for Indonesia to in the field of more efficient tax policy and administration.
Okay. Do you already have plan with private companies or enterprises that you are going to cooperate with to to prevent and to really decrease the poverty, the gender equality here in Indonesia? Do you already have a plan which enterprises or private sectors that you are going to talk to?
Actually, almost every day our staff stationed here is talking to private sector to see what kind of assistance we can provide by utilizing ADB's resources. Not only lending, or equity financing to private sector, but also we can provide technical advisory service. To support the PPP concept as much as possible. So by utilizing those kind of multiple channels, we very much would like to support the private sector development here.
Okay. Last question. I want you to make a projection. I know is it going to be very hard for you, but what is Indonesia in 2020? What is your view about Indonesia in 2020?
Well, not really my vision, but I very much would like to support this policy orientation, policy agenda, and the current President Jokowi administration. So. Yes, impact coming from coronavirus is one thing we have to really concern. But set aside that, I think Indonesian economy has been enjoying a very robust and strong economic growth, and that momentum is there. Depending on very strong domestic demand, not depend too much on external demand and so on. So it makes economic structure is very solid, and you have ample policy space to accommodate against any future contingency by utilizing maritime policy space, by utilizing fiscal policy space. Quite recently, Finance Minister announced her intention, Sri Mulyani, her intention to introduce a supplementary budget to stimulate domestic demand and so on, right? So luckily, Indonesia has potential to potential policy space to combat for any contingency we might be seeing from now on. So I'm quite confident about the Indonesian economy for next year, this year, 2020, and in order to support that policy orientation, we very much would like to expand.
So still above 5%, in your opinion, in 2020?
Let's see how the coronavirus impact is. It may be a little bit lower than that, but what I'm saying is basically I think the economic structure, the economic development model of Indonesia is very, very healthy and robust.
Alright, thank you so much, Mr. Asakawa.
Sure.
Thank you. Dan demikianlah wawancara saya bersama dengan Presiden Asian Development Bank, Masatsugu Asakawa, CNBC Indonesia, Beyond Business.